Thank you. That was such a great introduction. I just don't know how to follow that. So as you know, I go by the real Coach. Scott, what are you doing?
It's brown bag lunch. We just eat our lunch.
That's they bring the brown bag.
Oh, we don't get to eat? I'm hungry.
Who packed your lunch?
Hello.
Welcome to Tiger Talk. I am your only host today, Scott Ryan, as Becca is on assignment. She is auditioning for The Little Mermaid 2, Ariel Against the World. We hope she gets the part. So it's just going to be all boys today. Welcome to the show, Coach Moore.
How's it going, Scott?
It's going well. And so we will ask the players to introduce yourself. We need your name, your position, and number. Why not?
I'm Vito McConnell, outside linebacker and tight end, and number 3.
I'm Daylan Pringle, number 6, and I play defensive back.
All right. So the game did not go maybe how we had hoped, but we always go into these games trying to learn something. So I want to know from all three of you, what did you learn from the loss? Let's start with you, Vito, and we'll go right around.
Okay. I learned that our defense, I think we play very well when we're under pressure. I feel like we had a lot of big stops, and we kept fighting even though we got put in tough situations. So I feel like we played that very well.
All right, Daryl? Daylan?
I learned that from the game. I think I learned that we play better when we play as a team and we don't play as one player.
Yes, I hope you learned that. We definitely need that moving forward. What about you, Coach?
I mean, I think we all learned that we're really, really close to being a great football team. That we played a great team in Dematha on Friday, and a team with way more stars than us, and height and weight and all those things. But we had a chance to win that game. You could even say that we should have won that game. I think everybody should walk away from that game with some confidence. Is that from that and Bergen ended up a little bit wider margin at the end, but we've gone toe to toe with some of the best teams in the country, and had a chance to win both. I think that a lot of times stars and recruiting rankings, and it's not that they don't mean anything, but they certainly don't mean everything. And that when we play together and play Massillon Tiger football, we've got a chance to beat anybody in the country.
Yeah, and really it came down to recovering an onside kick. I mean, and it's a different game. I mean, when you can do that in a big game like that, that's as close as you can come. I don't feel that this happens very often, but I felt the main difference, and tell me if I could be wrong. This was a team that was just faster than we were. It doesn't normally happen. But I mean, they were fast. I feel like that was the fastest team I'd seen in a long time. Is that the way you guys felt? That was one of the main advantages they had, or it was all size?
I feel like, they're definitely fast, but I don't think they're much faster than we were. I feel like we just made key mistakes to the game that if they would have went our way, we would have won. We would have came out victorious. So two.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like, yeah, I don't feel like they were much faster than us, but I feel like at a point they're like they like had more energy than us. So it made it look that they were faster than what they really were.
Oh, okay. All right, could be. I mean, I thought that punt return was the difference also, and that kid was fast. I mean, he really just was. I don't know if there's anything you could have done differently. Coach, what do you think about their speed? Were they faster than Valdosta or some of those teams from last year that we've seen? They certainly were the fastest team we played this year.
Yeah, they were really fast, across the board. I think that's definitely true. And you combine that with the length and the size. They're a great team, and they had a really good quarterback that God, we're so close. I mean, we had 2 or 3 times we had him sacked, and he was able to squirt out of it. And he was not just a physical runner; he was a great thrower, very accurate. I mean, he was, gosh, I mean, one of the best quarterbacks we played since I've been here. So that was a great team. They had it all, as far as length and speed and size and all those things, and the quarterback. And we're right there with a chance to win. So, we want to win everything that we do. I really think the biggest lesson is we can go toe to toe with anybody.
Right, and I haven't checked all of the computer points, but it's unlikely we'll face them in playoffs, right?
Mhm.
Thanks, Vito.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not in the state of Ohio. So
Right, so I mean, this is why we bring them in. This is why we prepare. And I've been thinking about this because there's always a lot of noise after something like this, and this is going to go before all y'all time. But many years ago, there was Coach Rose, and he left, and Coach Shepis came in. And Shepis started scheduling St. Ignatius, and it drove Maslin people crazy because we never beat them the whole time Shepis was there. But in doing that, he moved the program forward in the long run. I feel like that's what you're doing this year by bringing in these nationally ranked teams, and it's moving us forward, and we're getting closer. So that's what I have to say as an old time Tiger fan. That's what I see. This reminds me of when Shepis was here, and it drove the old timers up the wall. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an old timer now. Now, Becca's not here today, but I asked her for a question. And this is the question that she sent me. So this is for the players. How do you guys block out the noise when you have a loss like this or a big game? What do each of you do to block out noise that's outside of the locker room?
I feel like this like don't pay attention to all the people that's like not part of our team, like people that's just like the critics on social media, like people that just want to heckle and just don't pay them no attention.
Yeah, I feel like we just need to stay in the locker room, stay off what social media has to say, just stay as a whole, go to practice every day, stuff like that.
But isn't that hard to do when you're kind of expected to post your highlights to get a college to notice you? That's why people are doing it. So in some ways, engaging in social media is your job, but
Yeah,
also not the negative. So how do you balance that?
I feel like well when you do stuff with like highlights and stuff, you post. I feel like if you just post what you have to do and then not look what others have to say, I feel like it kind of balance out. So
And are you guys good at that?
yeah, yeah,
it's called Post and Ghost,
yeah.
Scott.
All right, I like it. Post and ghost. I'm gonna start doing that as well, but then how will I know when people thought I was funny? Um, thanks for stopping by.
I don't think you have to worry about that, Scott.
Okay. Tell me about stopping by the brown bag lunch. I really appreciate that. Becca and I this week got to speak, and you brought a couple players over. That was a surprise to me. How was that for you? I'm assuming it was a big part of your week.
Well, it was. This is kind of maybe gonna be funny. I don't know. It was a surprise to me too because Becca just told me that she was going to brown bag lunch something at the museum, and that I should stop by. And I thought, well, that's funny that she's packing lunches for families at the museum and not, at the administrative office or wherever she usually does that kind of stuff. And so we just swung by. I didn't know if she needed some help or she wanted us to say hi to the people that she was packing lunches with or something.
Uh-huh.
And then we walked in, and it was the author talk thing. And as soon as I saw that, I knew what the brown bag lunch thing was at the museum. I
Right.
didn't make the proper connection because I was thinking about her job. But so it was a surprise to me too. But we were happy to stop by and see you guys talking about the book, and hope everybody liked it.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I thought that it was nice you brought some players. Also, I couldn't help but notice I was in town for the game and they wore all orange after the week before I just said that was my favorite color. So I'm gonna assume that was done for me. I'm telling you, the all orange is best. I'd like to hear from both players. What is your favorite combination for your
Hmm.
uniforms? Vito, you can go first.
I don't know. Oh, that's tough. I feel like the all black's always a classic, but I think the all white's my favorite when we go all white.
Uh-huh. Because it's an away game?
Just I don't know. I just feel like it's like clean. I don't know. All white's like it looks sharp. I don't know.
That's really interesting. What about you, Daylan?
I like all black. I like that. The all white's cool, but I feel like the all black is just yeah.
And the one with Maslin across the chest or not Maslin across the chest? Because there's two all blacks.
Yeah, the newer one. The
Uh-huh.
one without
Okay. Well, that again, wrong answers because it's all orange. Okay, so let's go to this week's game. Tell us about this Canada team. What do we need to know, Coach?
So this is a Canadian team that is the one team in Canada that is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, they've beaten teams in Ohio before. They beat Ironton last week. They beat Ignatius a couple years ago. They played and beat Warren before. So they're called Football North. They're about 5 hours away, just northwest of Buffalo, I believe. They're another huge team. They're huge up front on the offensive line. They may be the biggest, honestly,
Yeah.
of anybody that we play. We played some big lines.
Yeah.
So they're huge, and they're good at the skill positions too. They've got some length. There is an element of rawness maybe, versus some of the other teams that we played. But they are big. They have length. And they have some speed at the skill position, so they're a good football team. They've got a bruiser running back that runs really hard, a quarterback that does a nice job. So this is not a Canadian team that's going to be a pushover by any means.
Okay. And do we get, because I know that like if you look at our points for the year, they don't count our first game as even in our schedule, or like if we're 4-2 now, they count us as 3-2. Will this game count, and will we get points for this, or this is like having another bye?
But yeah, this game does count for the Harbins.
So why didn't the first game count? What's the difference between Canada and England?
I mean, one's in North America. I don't know.
All right. I just think that's weird because I always thought back in the day when we played Canada teams, they counted, but then that first one didn't. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe it's
They
just
did, and then they changed it because I think some people were. I mean, imagine that people complaining. Some people were complaining that you were kind of like gaining points that were kind of unearned. You know, as if there's not bad teams in Ohio that you could
right.
schedule. You know, it's like it's a silly argument.
Yeah.
And I don't care one way or another, to be honest. I don't really have a dog in the fight, but that seems like a really silly thing to me. Um, so this Canada North team, so they just play American football. They don't play Canadian football at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Canadian rule football. Um, and they formed a league with some prep schools in the United States. And because of that, I believe that they've now been deemed worthy of Harbin points.
All right.
So they
Wow.
have, and they play essentially an American schedule.
Okay.
Uh,
That makes sense then.
and so, I mean, sure.
I mean, look at us. We're always learning. Whenever has the state of Ohio made a boneheaded decision about anything to do with football? Never, not once. Let's go back to the players. I always like to ask, what do you have to do this week to bring home a win? Let's go from the offensive side and the defensive side. What are you guys looking for this week?
As a defensive side, I feel like we gotta come out fast. I feel like we gotta stop the run as always. We gotta play fast. We gotta play physical. We gotta wrap up's a big one. We struggled wrapping up last week, so I feel like we gotta really key on tackling and go from there. So
All right, Daylan.
Yeah, like what he said, like we gotta wrap up and all that, and like we gotta make sure we play all the way to the whistle. We can't take no plays off this week. And
All right, I like it. How's the player that got hurt? The Dematha player that got carried off. He made it home, could go on the bus. He's okay.
I believe he's okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to see. I thought Massillon fans were really nice. They gave him a lot of applause, showed a lot of class. We always want to bring that up because we want to invite these people in. We want to beat them, but we also want to be classy. All right. Well, that now is when we move on to our game. And Coach Moore he's going to give us 2 facts. One of them is about Becca. One of them is about the coach. And you two are going to discuss and say which is which.
okay.
So Nate.
Okay, so I'm gonna break the rules a little bit. I'm just gonna ask them a question that is related to both of us. So Becca likes to constantly jab me by calling herself the real Coach Moore. So my question to you guys, and there's only one right answer: who is the best Coach Moore?
So who is the best Coach Moore is the question. What's it called? What's the Blarney Stone thing called?
This is the Blarney Stone, yeah.
The Blarney Stone. Yeah, don't be thinking about that. He's in charge whether you have to run Blarney Stones or not. So while you guys discuss which one is the best, this is when I play punt or no punt. And this week, oh, it's exciting, friends. 57-6, Cincinnati beat Milford. Never heard of them. 57-6. No punts. But here's the exciting part. Milford only punted twice.
Wow.
They went 1 for 4 on 4th down. It's spreading. This is what we've been waiting for. You know, they were like, we're not punting either. If they're not punting, we're not punting. And I don't think it worked for them because they did lose 57-6, but that doesn't matter. What matters is I think the Milford coach watches Tiger Talk and he decided to only punt twice. So it's happening. This movement is happening. So it's up, what, we're in week 7 now or something like that, and Cincinnati Anderson has only punted 1 time.
Yeah, with that.
I mean, this is incredible. Okay, guys, you've got your answer. Have you
Yeah,
guys decided?
There's only one right answer. Coach Moore. It's right in front of us.
So that is the incorrect answer.
Oh,
Here's a life lesson for you guys. All right, happy wife, happy life. All right, Becca Moore is actually the best Coach Moore.
look at that.
Players lose.
Yes, after Becca and I getting no points since the first week, we are finally up to 2. So it's 4-2. The players are still crushing us. Wait a minute, it's 4-2. That's what our look at that. That's perfect.
Appreciate the vote of confidence.
Well, I mean, I kind of suspected as well. I would not be going against Becca, so I understand. All right, well, that is our show. We appreciate it. Stay tuned because I did film the 8th grade singing the national anthem. My cousin Erin is the choir director. I tried to get an interview with her to see how they do that, and she turned me down. So thanks, family. But I do have the national anthem playing at the end of this episode. And as always, TIG.
You're us.
From the mountains to the prairie to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Massillon Junior High Choirs under the direction of Erin Sullivan, Nathan Ott, and Nate Teal. They will now lead us in our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.